later with our two analysts. And of course, last, but before we get into our SPN expert picks, we're going to talk about Wemby, who is going to be out for the season for the San Antonio Spurs. Alright, let's get into it. Terra Firma Jeep will be playing their last conference this upcoming Philippine Cup dahil nag-signify na ng intention ng Star Horse Basira na kunin yung kanilang franchise. Pero of course, this is still gonna be up to approval by the PBA board. Kailangan 2/3 ng PBA board ma-approve yung by it has to be 8 of the 12 PBA teams na makavote ng yes para makapasok sila. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, ang concern ko talaga, parang kasi new owner, new management. Of course, I've been a player. So, as a player, will they absorb them? As the coaching staff, will they absorb them? Kasi for sure, the Star Horse, they have another batch of players, coaching staff, of course. Syempre, if you own the team, gusto mo, mga tao mo. So,
especially now, may MPBL team sila.
Exactly. So, will they absorb the team? Will they absorb the whole the lineup, the coaching staff? So, yun yung pinaka-concern ko because syempre, as a player, konting taon lang tayo maglalaro. Syempre, yun yung gusto ko malaman if they're gonna absorb them. Pero, realistically, alam naman natin, may bata-bata yan, may sariling tao yan. So, eventually, they will translate. I mean, they will transfer those players also.
And yun, itong Terra Firma, marami itong mga batang players that's currently on the roster. Mark Nonoy is there, Kemar Carino, Luis Sangalang, Paulo Hernandez, Brent Paraiso, Dida Tanapi, Aljon Melesio, all of them still in the prime of their careers.
Yeah, veteran sense. Romeo Pringle, Kevin Ferrer, who's recovering, Aldrich Ramos, who's still reliable. Tulad na sinabi ni Coach Renden, syempre, pag bagong team, bagong mga tao yan.
Yes.
As coaches, we both know that we get hired to be fired.
Exactly.
We are paid to perform. And as of the moment, you've seen the numbers below, it's 23%. 24, mamba mentality. Pero it's something that they need to improve on. I'm a very good friend with Coach Raymond Chonco. Coach Monkey has been handling the business after Coach Jonathan Cardel moved on from that post. But again, if there's a sale of the team, the number one thing, ako naman, on the business perspective, kasi kanina, gusto ko yung pinag-uusapan natin before our coverage started, yung sustainability. Because number one, madaling sumali sa PBA ng isang taon. Pero ang tinitignan ng mga teams is yung magkakaroon ng foothold sa culture ng Pilipino na magiging part ka ng conversation na hindi naman yan nabarkadahan lang.
Yes.
Kasi ang PBA, it's an old boys club. Old boys club ang PBA that your grandfather, when you have a reunion and you have a conversation, they would have stories about yang si Junmar Fajardo, yung mga galaw niya, para rin si Bon Fernandez nung panahon niya. Siyempre ako, pag ako yung tinanong, hindi, Donnie ayoko. Tapos hindi, ma-shooter si Alan Kaydick, kaysa kay Coach Rende, at saka kay Jeff Chan. Di ba? Kasi ibang generations eh.
Yes.
So yun yung foothold ng PBA sa culture natin. It's an old boys club and everybody's part of it. And if you want to be part of that legacy of 50 years and counting, kailangan sustainable yung team mo with the shipping lines. Alam natin, sustainable yan. But again, the infrastructure na magsusustain ng programa nila, it's something that definitely the Board of Governors will be looking into.
So do you think that this sale of Terra Firma may approve to ng board ng PBA? Especially because, sinabi nung mga ibang articles, wala namang kalaban. Pero same industry sila ng Northport eh. So do you think mahaharangan pa ba to nila Boss Mikey?
Well, it's something that the Filipino people has been really
clamoring for.
Not only clamoring for, but very, very outspoken about. They want more parity. They want more teams. They want teams that are independent, like Rain or Shine, Converge, and these guys. It's what they want. So pagka meron pang isang new player, pwede naman magsabayan. Kasi dati, ano ba ang mga parehas na soft drinks, Coca-Cola, di ba? For a time, di naman pala nagsabay ang Coca-Cola and Pop-Cola, but branding can be varied. But again, if you're doing it for the fans, magandang may bagong attraction din na local team, kasi we're inviting foreign teams na,
Yes.
di ba? Magandang bagay yan para there is a point of parang springboard for more conversation at new eyeballs ng mga bata. At lalong-lalo na, itong team na to will be showcased on a regional basketball league. And yung mga players na has been known to be competitive in the regional basketball setting.
I have a question. Bakit hindi tayo, ba't hindi yung PBA, ba't hindi sila magdagdag? Bakit kailangan ibenta yung franchise?
Malaki kasi ang operating expense.
OPEX. So
OPEX talaga eh.
It's like, let's do the math. It's 100 million for the franchise, and then give and take 100 million per year.
Oo. Wala pa dun yung operation expense mo na salaries ng coaches, salaries ng players. So optimistic,
Bonuses pa.
You're looking at a marketing budget of at least 400 million.
A year.
In a year.
Oh,
if,
wow.
if it's a, kasi madaling tignan yan, if you're a big company, like let's say for example, the MVP group, they have a diversified portfolio that can pick out, let's say for Smart, gagamitin natin yung marketing money na 100 million, ipa-plug in natin sa pagpapatakbo ng apat na teams natin. Meralco, we can pull it in. NLEX, again, these are service industries that are part and parcel of the Filipino experience. So, nagagamit nila not only for the business standpoint, marketing kasi talaga, it's a business. And it's used as billboards. Parang si Coach Renren, pagka nakikita natin nun, he has a billboard for Lasal, retired number, best shooter in college pa rin. At me, kung kukontra kayo. And when he transitioned for FedEx and then Talk and Text and then for the national team and all the teams that he played in, nagiging billboard. And that's what they pay for.
Walking billboard.
Marketing talaga. So it gets into the marketing budget. The question is, kung ganun kalaki yung joining fee, yung sustainability, kasi merong eyeballs, laging may nanonood ng PBA, ano yung return on investment nila? Just like any business, para maging sustainable yung shipping line. Kasi malaking endeavor yan pag pumasok ka ng PBA.
Actually, kung gusto mong sumikat, gusto mong makilala as a company or a product or as a person, here in the Philippines, it's basketball.
Yes.
Basketball talaga.
Kasi until now, I'm turning 46 this year. Until now, nakikilala pa rin
Alam ko,
ako.
21 lang.
Dude,
Tatanungin ko lang, parang mas bumabata nga yung itsura mga may tumatanda kayo.
Tatanungin ko kung may playing years pa, wala kami shooters sa NBA. I-recruit ko na eh. Bidista din yan eh.
pero kasi, the teams that I played for, nababanggit pa rin sila. Air 21, FedEx, Meralco, Talk and Text, we've been part of the national team. So, I'm still representing those companies. Kasi, nakikilala nila ako.
It's way after your playing career.
Exactly.
How many years have you been retired, Coach?
I retired when I was 35. So, 10 years na. Diba?
Pero may brand recognition pa.
Exactly.
Yun yung nadadala ng PBA. Yun yung kasama dun sa 100 million. Yan nga dapat mas malalaki talaga yung mga kontrata ng mga kasi kahit ngayon si Coach Johnny Abarrientos nagko-coach sa San Miguel Group, pero Alaska, man! Si Kuya Willie, pag nakikita, Alaska pa rin naaalala.
Exactly.
Di ba?
Oh.
More than Ginebra, Alaska siya naaalala eh. Dahil,
Ginebra yun, ha?
pero mas naaalala siya as an Alaska MVP. Mas batang Red Bull, yun yung
Red Bull.
recognition. So, again, it gives you a lot of mileage for marketing. But again, what's the return on investment? That's a thing that companies, when they are knocking at the door of the PBA, that's one thing that their COO and the financial department would be asking yung mga stakeholders. Ano yung return on investment natin? Is it enough for us to sink in 400 million a year? Per annum eh. Per annum yung gastos yan. Tatakbo ka ng 12 months. If you divide it, it's 40 million a month. Kung titignan mo ng ganun, are you earning that much to cover the marketing money that you're spending? Yun na, rough numbers. Hindi po exactly yung 40 million yun, but it's rough data. Dahil kung titignan nyo lang yung sweldo ng ilang player yun, 15, plus syempre, pagka kay Coach Shot ka naglalaro, yung 5 boys na sa scouting team, sila SM, si Gilbert Lau, si Chris Walter, sino ba yung dalawa? Si Coach Jonats. At saka, sino isa ba? 5 yan eh, 5 parati yan eh. Alam ko may scouting team, may scouting team ang bawat team. So they're also part of that equation. And of course, if you're running a team, yung staff mo, marami din, marami kang utility, marami kang equipment na kailangan, marami kang rentals na kailangan for your gym. So, dun pumapasok yung, are we making enough money for us to sustain an operation like that?
why not? I have a suggestion. Yun lang habang we're talking. Bakit, di ba? For example, SMB. Why don't they build a home court na they hold basketball games there. It's like a home and away. Like for example, MVP, PLDT or Meralco, home court nila. Doon gaganapin. Pupunuin natin yan.
Yun ang kailangan.
Sales tickets will be booming because the employees, whoever, the families of the employees are forced to watch the games. And then they're gonna buy tickets and then some of the other fans na pwede pumasok, papasok.
Yun ang nangyayari sa regional basketball.
Exactly. Tapos ba't hindi natin gawin yung gano'n sa PBA? Just a suggestion. Di ba? Parang,
Kasi kami ni Javi exposed
kasi
kami
ako,
sa...
kung mag-ano ko, kuwari, I'm gonna spend 100 million, like what you said.
Ano yung balik?
Paano ko babalikan yun? Eh di, might as well, if I spending 100M plus 400 mil, magkano lang ba ang gym? Magkano ba ang arena?
Exactly.
Diba? Abuti ba ng 100M yan? Diba? I'm not sure. Pero I'm sure, pag yung court lang and the bleachers is like 20 mil.
Alam mo, ha?
Diba?
Ito lang yung sasabihin ko. Wala po kaming pinapanigan. Pero pag may tatanungin tayo na ganyan, San Juan has built a lot of gyms.
Let's
a lot of
go!
gyms that I played in. That definitely does not cost that much. But can be played at a very high level. Makikita nyo na, kasi yung team nila doon, no free shoutouts. Yung team nila doon, they've been building courts because maraming naglalaro na kabataan.
Yes.
And it's what Senator Manny Pacquiao has been doing. It's what regional basketball sila Congressman Dom Gonzales. Nagbi-build sila ng facilities na maraming nanonood. Nakikita na natin ngayon sa mga ligang labas eh. Sa Abra na lang eh. Di ba?
Yun na yung formula. Why don't the companies of the PBA do something like that?
And
Kasi
nakikita
they're
naman
capable
Nakikita naman coach na talaga napupuno naman yung mga arenas na ganun eh.
Puno talaga.
Puno talaga.
Hindi nga kaya ng aircon eh. All-star nyo, Brad. May pay-pay tsaka may electric fan sa
diba?
Cebu at saka sa Bacolod. Naalala ko kasi kasama ka sa 3-point shootout ng dalawang beses. So, pinagpapaypayan dahil ganun karami yung tao. But again, we need to look at it in a broader perspective. Yun yung magiging next transition. Paano dadalhin in regional terms? Kasi with regional basketball ngayon, ang MPBL is highly sustainable. And me and Javi we've been part of it. That it gave birth to Junior MPBL. Nasa, nandun ka eh. Nasa Junior MPBL, Women's WMPBL, Under 21, na nag-diversify na lahat nagiging stakeholders ngayon. Mas malaki ang OPEX, pero syempre, hindi natin alam yan. Ako, I'm not privy to the numbers, I'm not privy to the meetings, but again, if it's higher echelon marketing and it's business, yun yung mga titignan nila.
But talking about bigger perspective, Coach, before we wind up this topic, do you think that the players that you see on your screens right now, Arvin Santos, Raba Alcini, Jervy Cruz, Ray Publico, Jeff Viernes, all of these guys have had PBA experiences. I'm not sure if Jeff Viernes did, but
he did. Global Port.
Okay, yeah, he did. So, do you think that these guys have a possibility of getting absorbed into the possible PBA franchise of Star Horse?
Of course. Kasi they're part of the Basilan Star Horse eh. Yun nga yung concern ko because the players of Terra Firma, baka yun nga ang mangyayari. Mapapalitan sila.
Draft, magiging free agent.
So, yun yung mawawala sa kanila.
Malabo sila dyan. Bakbakan sila sa roster.
Oo, it's business eh. So talagang, like what Coach Hammer said, magkakaroon siguro ng draft. And then, it's hard for players na para bago-bago. Pabago-bago. Hirap nga pag na-trade eh.
Oo, exactly.
Okay.
Ako, hindi naman ako na-trade. Undrafted free agent. Sa mga teams na kailangan
Nakita ko yung poster.
mga teams na kailangan ng 6 pa na foul. Ready ako. Basta 6 na foul, tas practice player conditioning coach. Matanggap ako na mababa kasi hindi ako makapasok sa LSG. Ang layo! Ang layo sa bahay ko. But again, talking about that, number one, yung may mga live contracts, it should be settled.
Ayan.
That's number one. It's either a buyout at 60 or 70% of their contract or they would be absorbed by the new team. That's number one. Number two, the remaining slots, labo-labo yan. talagang bakbakan yan. Kukunin at kukunin yung mga
So expect this MPBL season for Basilan Star Horse to be really a hard one.
Yes.
Oh,
Talagang babakbak sila.
Brad, hindi pa nga nagsisimula MPBL, bumomba na. Coach Mactan, I love you. Alam mo, magkasama tayo ng matagal. Minessage pa kita. Nung nabalitaan ko, minessage ko si Coach Mac kasi Coach Mac is now the head coach of Basilan. He's been a long-time deputy of God rest his soul, Coach Lawrence Chongson. Part of that bigger umbrella nila Boss Bongtan with Yuki. Very dear friend. They were together when the incident happened kay Boss Bong. Nandun si Coach Mac. And we've been talking for the longest time since I was covering him when they won the championship. The first championship na MPBL with Batangas. This is the same core of coaches. And happy ako kasi Coach Rob Labagala is part of the coaching staff ng Basilan. And if the plan proceeds, if this comes into fruition, malamang yung coaching staff nila aakyat. And these guys need their shot then. Okay? But most importantly, they need to perform. Dahil nakabomba ang Basilan ngayon. Sa Gomba Jeep, nakabomba din yung Abra. So, bukas makikita ko yung Abra squad. Gusto ko makita gaano katibay yung mga yun. Dahil ako, pag nanonood ako ng MPBL, sa totoo, pinanonood ko lang yung malalakas na team. Laguna, ngayon San Juan, panonoodin ko kasi nandun si Coach Alex. So, kailangan mo panoorin yung mga teams na malalakas. Dahil pinag-uusapan natin, we're basketball fans, Coach Rendon. So, ngayon, high pressure yan. Kasi pag hindi ka nag-champion sa MPBL, hindi ka mag-champion sa MPBL.
Sa PBA pa kaya.
PBA pa kaya. Yun yung magiging kwentuhan. Pero Coach Mac, alam mo, love kita, go sa beda fight tayo para sa MPBista. Pero when opportunities arise, pressure will come with it, but it's the people who take over and deliver. Yan, that's what
And
I want.
Coach Hammer's available.
6 pounds, 1 conference contract para masabi ko na pag nagyabangan kami ni Coach Renre, retired din yung jersey ko, pinakamaraming foul down.
Well, one thing also that's looming in the horizon para dito sa Basilan Star Horse is moving into the PBA, they have a chance to get Christian Stan Hardinger to play again in the PBA because the Terra Firma franchise still has the rights to them, and when they absorb that franchise, mapupunta sa kanila yung rights. Is there a possibility na mapapalaro nila ulit?
Ngayon palang kinukuha na nila sa MPBL. Yan yung totoo. Huwag kang ngumiti-ngiti dyan. Lahat yan alam ng mga tao na Christian Stan Hardinger is the hottest free agent right now in regional basketball because hindi siya pwede habulin ng PBA doon. His rights would be in the PBA. If he plays for the PBA, nandun yung terra firma. Hindi siya pwedeng idemanda kasi free agent na siya. If he plays in regional basketball, just like Greg Slaughter, I don't think that it would only be 1.2 M for that contract. I don't know.
Not only 1.2 M?
Not only 1.2, because if they're paying Greg Slaughter 1.2 M, you would be sure as hell that Christian Sardardinger would be producing more and would be getting a whole lot of numbers with a little bit less baggage, to say the least.
Well, that's gonna be a crazy possibility, and if it happens, I'm sure everybody's gonna be so excited to
Dahil
see that.
bukas maglalakad na naman ako. Dahil may mga surgeries yung misis ko bukas sa may bandang south. Makikita ko na naman yan, naglalakad-lakad doon. Ayoko tanungin, ang laki kasi baka abuhan ako eh. Pero mabait si Christian.
So kayo mga ka-Sports Plus, chime in sa ating Facebook Live kung ano yung thoughts nyo about this sale of the Terra Firma franchise to Star Horse Basilan. Alright, let's get into our next topic. Let's talk about that last Gilas window that happened against Chinese Taipei and the New Zealand Tall Blacks. We lost both games. Against Chinese Taipei, it was very surprising since Chinese Taipei is a lower seeded squad. While against the Tall Blacks, everybody expected that it was going to be a hard game, but also nobody expected that we were going to lose. Even in the Doha International Cup, talo tayo ng 2 games. We only won the first game against Qatar, and that was even a close game, 74-71 decision. And then against Lebanon and Egypt, tinambakan tayo. There you see the scores in that Gilas, in that window in the Asia Cup qualifiers, 91-84 against Chinese Taipei, and I think that was 97-80 against New Zealand. So, kayo, coaches, ano bang nakita nyong naging pagkakamali or mga kailangan i-improve natin?
Wala tayong pagkakamali.
Or talagang nawala lang talaga si Kai Soto?
Hindi. Yun number 1. Pero ang pinakamahirap kasi dyan, yung kalagitnaan kayo ng season, papasok kayo ng semifinals, biglang magkakaroon kayo ng minicamp, tas maglalaro kayo ng international. That's number 1. Remember, game 1 ng semifinals will be on Wednesday. Okay? Game 1 ng semifinals.
Ng PBA.
Ng PBA. And all our players, most of them, were part of the quarterfinal showdown. Okay. So, pagod yung mga players natin, pag training camp nyo na nakalock in for 1 week, and pagko-compete ninyo internationally, may isa pa silang laro back-to-back. Gabi tas umaga. Actually, sa isang araw lang nga nilaro dito. 1 a.m. yata yun, 2 a.m. tapos 11 p.m. Okay. Isa lang po ang pwedeng, doon sa mga maraming nagsasabi na dapat sila yung coach, isa lang po ang pwedeng mag-coach yan sa team na yan para mag-champion kung ganyan ang gagawin natin. Si Jesus lang po. Si Jesus lang dahil siya, He is the way, the truth, and the life. Siya lang ang magpapa-champion pagka ganyan ang gagawin natin sa programa natin. Kasi if we want the PBA to be maximized, we need to operate at a FIBA calendar. Yun lang yan. Konting usog lang naman yan. Ang matatamaan kasi, yung mga magpapadraft galing sa college. Yun yung matatamaan. So everybody needs to operate at a FIBA calendar. The basketball should be done in the second semester for both UAP na nangyayari na ngayon. Kasi it's FIBA eh. Nangyayari lang nga na yung calendar, inusog rin ng FIBA, na si KQ sa kalagitnaan ng Lasal, kailangan maglaro sa RP team. So yun yung mga kailangan natin consider. Maybe the college game can be moved up a little bit and then i-empty natin tong kasi sa every cycle, it's August, September, and then the preseason is ngayong February and March. Ganun yung nangyayari. So, I don't know. I'm not a stakeholder. I'm just league leader in common sense. Na if we want to compete at that level, we need to have the best players, the freshest players, and we shouldn't be exposing them to performances that number one can get them injured, and number two that they're unprepared.
Well, don't you think that we have the best players in this current
We
batch?
do.
Yun nga. I just watched the Count for Gold. What's that? The Netflix? The
Court of
Dream
Gold.
Team. Yeah. I just watched that. So the teams are saying Serbia, France. They're saying the USA team, the Dream Team is like 3 weeks lang nag-practice or how many weeks lang. They've been together for 10 years na. It's freaking Dream Team. The best players in the world. Siyempre, ang Pilipino, gusto parang ganun tayo. Kasi yun ang ini-emulate natin eh. Yun ang pinapanood natin araw-araw. Yun nga yung dinidiscuss natin araw-araw dito sa SPNation. But we have to do a reality check. Coach Hammer mentioned, pa-semifinals na. Gusto mo mag-transition yung utak ko, yung emotions ko, maglalaro ko internationally. So, yung routine ko, ibang-iba sa magiging routine ko outside the country. So, it's so different. Ako, as a player, sobrang sacrifice ng players. Diba? Parang very thankful tayo dapat na they're representing the Team Pilipinas, the country. And of course, the coaching staff also. Ganyan talaga ang mangyayari dyan because we're not the dream team. Diba? Yes, we have the best players in the Philippines right there in Gilas. But we're not the dream team. So we have to prepare more than enough for more, like, dapat niya, taon eh. Hindi lang buwan eh. Diba? Against those players. Kasi they've been preparing for this. Parang ito yung main league nila eh. Tayo, parang pocket tournament lang natin eh. Parang ganun ang trato natin. O, teka lang, may calling tayo FIBA. O, teka lang, pinapatawag ako sa...
Ginagawa natin barkadahan. Barkadahan eh. Oy, may laro, pre. Parang intrams eh.
O, pinapatawag ako sa national team. May practice kami bukas. May mga ganun eh.
Dapat pakiusapan pa.
O, diba?
Pakiusapan pa.
It's really tough for players, for coaches, because the adjustment, it's been really hard. Sometimes, hindi pa available yung players because kahit anong rason, we respect that. But, syempre, we have to understand and we have to be more patient. Kailangan natin yung expectation natin because it's really tough for players and the coaches to adjust right away. Teka lang, nasa PBA ako. Ang ini-scout ko si Junmar, biglang ito na ini-scout ko ngayon, di ba? The following day. So it's really hard. And if you're gonna play against those players, kailangan yung mindset mo, andun. Hindi na sa PBA semifinals. Teka lang, magkano ba yung entering ko dito? Di ba?
Times 5 eh.
O, di ba?
Isipin mo ba yung barkadahan o yung times 5? Doon ako sa times 5.
Diba, mga ganun eh. May mga factors na ganun. Siyempre, those players na gustong mag-represent ng Philippines, hindi mo kailangan, ano yan, parang support lang talaga tayo. Support the coaching staff, let's support them. Ang dami natin naririnig na naman yun. Palitan na naman si ganito, si ganyan.
Okay, kayo na mag-coach.
So, it's really hard, it's really tough because I've been there, I've experienced it, I've seen it. The preparation is tough. It's really, really, really tough. Especially, you're in the middle of the season and then you're going out of the country and then stoppage ng PBA because we have to play international. Ibang-ibang yung routine mo, mag-iiba talaga. Kasi, you're a strength conditioning coach.
It's different.
May ano yun eh, may level. O, teka lang, kailan ako pa-peak?
Yes.
Exactly.
Di ba? Pag-peak ako ng gantong time because ito yung semi-finals na hindi ako pwede mag-peak dito. Kasi ito yung championship ko eh. Biglang lilipad ako doon. It's, paano?
That messes up your cycle. Eh.
Exactly.
It's your preparation cycle,
Oh,
it's
eh.
your sleep cycle, it's the way that you eat, the way that you prepare. It messes up your rhythm. And hindi po ako shooter. Siya yung shooter. In any sport, it's always about rhythm.
Yes.
And if your rhythm is off track, it's so hard to get it back.
Yes.
You need to get back to your routine. And if we're throwing these players na, laro kayo dito, punta kayo New Zealand, o punta kayo Qatar, big time difference, big time jumps, kailangan mo matulog, kailangan mo kumain, yun lang yung simple. Simple yung sagot doon. Kailangan na natin kasi we have talent. I was able to talk to Coach Rob Labagala when he was with Coach Josh na pag tinignan mo yung mga Pilipino mula bata hanggang matanda, tayo yung pinaka-skilled. Ang tanong, hindi tayo lumalaki eh. Hindi tayo tumatangkad, pero ngayon yung generation, ikaw, dalawa, Luis Pablo, 7 Gagate, magiging national team players yan. Ito sila Chris Rubilla, sila na yung next transition. Yung mga batang yan, along with Jacob, along with
Puno.
KQ, yun. Si Jomel Puno, and these guys, sila yung mga kailangan mag-benefit na ito, natutunan na natin to panahon pa nila patrimonyo na hindi pwedeng chapsuy.
Yep.
Kailangan may programa talaga. So, in the long run, hopefully, the stakeholders of the SBP will take care of the calendar, number one, and work with the PBL because they're the same people and we need all hands on deck. And if you want to coach the national team, Brad, dasal ka na marami.
Humanda ka na.
Dasal ka na marami.
Thankless job. One of the most thankless jobs here in the world. And with these losses, the last 2 losses during the FIBA Asia qualifiers, do you both agree with the other people na it's already time to push the panic button?
Man.
Especially na talagang hindi naman masyadong non-bearing games yung last 2 games na yun eh.
It hurts because, of course, we're a basketball culture talaga dito sa Philippines. Talagang yan yung natin eh. Pambansang sport eh. So,
Parang pambansang religion na nga eh.
yung emotions natin, we invested that. So talagang masasaktan din sila.
Pag nanood ka lang ng Facebook, pag nakita mo yung mga interbarangay sa norte hanggang sa south, pag may nagkabanatan, pati ikaw na. We're that invested in. Kaya nga, sports sa Pilipinas, basketball, number 1. Number 2, basketball. Number 3, basketball.
Yeah. So, talagang ganun. May masasabi sila because nasasaktan din sila as a fan, as a supporter because they invested a lot of emotions there. Natuwa na sila, nalungkot na sila, umiyak na sila. So talagang masasaktan. So masasabi nila, pag galit ka, masasabi mo yung mga hindi magandang sinabi. Pero pag nanalo ulit tayo, wala na ulit yan.
Lahat pogi pag panalo.
Well, sabi naman ni Coach Tim that they're really gonna focus on the upcoming FIBA Asia Cup. Doon talaga nila ipo-pour out yung lahat ng kanilang mga effort to make sure that we do good in that tournament. Alright, let's go to our next topic. Let's talk about Victor Wembanyama, who will be out for the season for the San Antonio Spurs. He was diagnosed with deep vein thrombosis, DVT, same as Chris Bosh. That's why he was forced to retire. But this one is sa kanyang shoulder. It's different from Chris Bosh na sa lungs niya. That came from the legs.
Yeah, yun kasi iniiwasan yung mga pulmonary embolisms na ganyan. It blocks your ability to really have that, hindi ako maging scientific masyado, pero yung paghinga mo, maapektuhan kasi mahirapan ka huminga, hindi magpo-function fully yung lungs at bumabara. Yun yung mga thrombosis, mga blood clots, mga ganyan. Buti sa kanya naagapan kasi nasa upper body na eh. So it's moving. Mahirap yan pag nasa legs.
Mas mahirap pag nasa legs.
Kasi dinudukot nila, inooperahan yan eh. It's either, usually it's below your leg, lalo na sa mga matatangkad na kasi nakuha yan sa biyahe ng biyahe. And yung pabalik. Kasi papunta na sa heart mo eh. So kasi kaya deep vein thrombosis. Mga embolism yan. And hopefully, ang mahirap kasi dyan, once you get treated, ang number one thing is tatanggalin nila yung clot. I-drain nila or operahan, just like Brandon Ingram, dinecompress. Number two, you're on blood thinners. Matagal mag-coagulate. Matagal maglangid. Pag nasugatan ka, pwede kang mawala ng dugo. Dire-diretso.
Para kang, hindi mapipigilan yung
Yun,
dugo.
exactly. Kasi pag naka-blood thinners ka, walang coagulating, bumababa yung coagulating agent ng dugo mo. Kasi pinaninipis nila para makadaloy. So yun yung gamot sa mga blood thinners. And that's one thing na nangyari kay Chris Bosh. Kasi pwede pa siyang bumalik. Pero nung nasugatan siya, nahirapan silang ipigilan. It becomes an emergency situation for those athletes. So, naging Hall of Famer naman siya. But Victor Wembanyama is a unicorn. And please,
21.
for all of us basketball fans, please pray to the basketball gods of old and new that they save this unicorn. Dahil this guy will open up the doors for other guys for the next generation because he would be the face of the NBA in years to come.
Even the Olympics, parang siya yung next na generation
Siya talaga.
na
Yeah, he is.
magre-represent ng basketball.
Definitely. Parang no doubt about it.
Yan yung mga epekto ni Kevin Garnett. Yan yung mga nag-idol kay Kevin Garnett. Ito na yung next evolution ng big man na lahat kaya gawin.
Hindi, Kevin Durant to.
Kevin Garnett ang tayo.
Kevin Garnett ex-Kevin Durant.
Yun nga, tama kasi Kevin Garnett. Sa panahon ni Kevin Durant.
Ito na yung combination nun. Imagine 21.4 points last season niya, Rookie of the Year, and then up that to 24.3 points this season. And he was supposed to be a favorite for Defensive Player of the Year. Unfortunately, he will not be considered for that anymore kasi he has not yet played 65 games, which is the requirement for all individual awards sa NBA. And it's a pity because actually the Spurs, they got the Aaron Fox to be able to have a playoff push.
Win now na,
Oo, win now na sana. Kaya lang, that's eventually not gonna happen because of Victor Wembanyama's absence from the team.
Oo, paulit-ulit.
Sobrang nalungkot si Popovich yan.
Oh,
eh.
I bet.
Pati siya natatakot.
Kasi na-stroke na yun. Kami mo, na-stroke na
Na-stroke,
beforehand. Na-stroke ka na. Yun, now would be the biggest transition for the Spurs organization. Kasi after the glory years, now they have another guy that they can build on in Victor Wembanyama. Same groove that Bob Hill lost a lot of games. And then Greg Popovich stepped in, became the general manager and the coach. David Robinson was injured. Who fell into their laps? The number one pick, which was Tim Duncan. And then, championships now. Greg Popovich, health-wise, Coach Pop, kami mga Pilipino, pinagdadasal namin ang paggaling mo. They would transition into a new regime ngayon.
Yan.
Might be a new coach in the upcoming year. Who
Maybe
knows?
different system.
Oh, might be kuhanin nila si Becky Hammond na head coach. Might be the first female NBA coach. Kasi yan talaga yung, ako tingin ko yun yung progression eh. Nainip lang si Becky Hammond eh. Kinuha lang niya yung Las Vegas na gig eh. Kasi siya yung nakapila eh. Kasi si Ime Udoka wala na sa Spurs system. Si Budenholzer, head coach na rin. Mike Brown, head coach na rin. So, sinong next? Siya na yung ginugroom eh. Natingin ko, this is me as a fan and me as a guy who has common sense. Nakapila ka na doon. Naatat ka na eh. Pero yun yung thrust na. Kasi it's different for an organization na storied coach, female, especially in this generation, that they want to empower. And she knows her basketball.
Yes, no
Might
doubt
be
about
something, may Don Staley pa, di ba, na nasa collegiate ranks. But who knows who would be the next head coach of the San Antonio Spurs? Might be one from the inside the organization. But the most interesting part here is if they land the top three pick. You're looking at Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, or Cooper Flag. They have a big hole in that combo forward position.
Yes.
These three guys are playing.
And these three guys might actually be a part of the duo. Oh, actually a big three with Wembanyama, De'Aaron Fox. No,
Exactly.
That can happen.
Oh, and they still have, of course, Chris Paul as their veteran stabilizer there. And as long as you have solid guys around the organization and they have the track record of, number one, developing talent, and number two, being honest with the talent that they have, mag-grow yan.
Well, Victor Wembanyama, we wish you the best and we hope talagang gumaling ka. Lahat tayo, please pagdasal natin kasi sayang naman yung bata. He's just 21 years old.
Bata talaga eh.
And sobrang sayang talaga, one of a kind generation. All right, let's go to our SPNation expert picks. We have 8 NBA games tomorrow, but we will break down 3 NBA games we will be discussing, and Coach Ren and Coach Hammer will be picking out kung sino yung mananalo sa tingin nila. All right, our first game for tomorrow, we have the LA Clippers going up against the Detroit Pistons. The Clippers won their 3 out of their last 5 games, while Detroit 5-0 in their last 5 games.
Seemingly healthy, the Detroit Pistons. They're up for that playoff push. They've been missing for so long, and the youth talent led by Cade Cunningham is getting a foothold.
All-star.
Oh, magandang buwelo to para sa kanila kasi the East is up for grabs with a lot of injuries happening around the lower tier teams that they can eke into that top 6. Might be, and Detroit deserves a contender.
Yes. Detroit ako dyan because the last 5 games, 5-0 sila. So, yung rhythm, it's there. Diba? So, alam ka naman piliin ko LA Clippers, 3-2. Diba? 1-2 ako sa standings natin.
1-2 ka ba?
Gusto ko manalo eh.
Ako, 0-3 ata ako. Di ko na iniisip. Basta pinanonood ko na lang dahil pagdating ng playoffs, doon na sila maglalaro. Yung last month ng regular season dyan, magbabakbakan yan.
Presto actually ngayon, magpestuhan na yan. Because syempre...
Second half na ng season eh.
Oo eh.
Ayaw mo dun ka sa...
Gusto na manalo yung mga yan.
Pwestuhan na yan.
So, both of you picked the Detroit Pistons for this one?
Yeah, ako,
Alright,
Detroit.
so both Coach Ren and Coach Hammer picked the Detroit Pistons over the LA Clippers. Next game, we have the Denver Nuggets going up against the Indiana Pacers. 37-20 ang Denver, while Indiana is 32-23. Denver has been on a good record in their last 5 games, while Indiana is 3-2. Your picks, coaches?
I went Denver.
Ako din, Denver.
Naluka lang sila dun sa talo.
Yun na nga.
Maganda lang yung...
Tambak yun against the Lakers.
Scheduled loss dahil they were...
Scheduled loss.
Scheduled loss. Back-to-back yun, if I'm not mistaken. That was a back-to-back game for them. And Luka needed to have a breakout game.
Yeah.
They were still waiting for that. And it's surprising that Denver is having integrated all the pieces right now. Maganda yung tinatakbo nila. And Russell Westbrook, my favorite. One of my favorites talaga to, with this competitiveness, found his place.
Yeah, after...
He is very happy with Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
He has maximized, and they let him be crazy.
Yes, they let him be the same Russell Westbrook that we've seen, especially
pipigilan,
during his MVP years.
Kaya hindi ako naniniwala doon sa mga may meniscus tear na humihinga. Kasi yung Russell Westbrook,
Bro, iba yung jeans doon.
hindi the way that he attacks.
Oh,
the way that he
nakakatakot,
attacks his rehab, his preparation. Kasi yung Pilipino, pag may konting masakit, ayaw na eh. Pero man, sa loobin ko lang naman. pero it's different, and it's a career renaissance for Russell Westbrook. That he is now a high-end role player that everybody can't do. Kasi parang si Vince Carter lang eh. Correct me if I'm wrong. Na nakita nating superstar na nag-transition into being a role player, into being a mentor, and then now, in the broadcast booth, universally loved. After a big ordeal with Toronto, ganun din si Russell Westbrook. The only thing that he cares about is winning. Definitely.
Totoo yan.
And that should be the case, for a lot of the players now who somehow still just only care about their individual
Sabi mo nga
stats.
sa'yo, 6 fouls. 6 fouls. Coach Rendren, pag si Coach Rendren na naging assistant coach, ako unang tatawag sa kanya. Tapos pagka kinuha siya ni Coach Franz, pagka nag-coach ulit siya sa PBA, natawag ako si Coach Rendren, kahit minimum contract lang ng utility, basta maka 6 fouls ako, okay na ako.
Hindi ako naging aware na recruitment pala to ang program natin
Pinipitch ko lang kasi may
pinipitch.
bagong team. I'm
Pitch
just
pala, hindi pala recruitment.
shouting it to the universe.
Manifesting lang.
Why not,
Manifesting.
diba? Why not?
Coach Red, Denver ka rin ba dito?
Yes, of course. Denver ako dyan. I'm always a Denver fan, especially when they made it to the playoffs, and then Jokic blew as an MVP, and then the other guys, yung plays nila, I loved how they executed their plays. They're very unselfish. So yeah, Denver.
Alright, so same picks again for this game. Denver against Indiana. Parehong Nuggets ang ating dalawang analysts for tonight. And our last game tomorrow, it's gonna be the Miami Heat visiting the Atlanta Hawks.
Dito kami split. Dito kami
Miami
split.
ako eh.
Atlanta ako dito.
Yeah, Miami ako.
Bakit Atlanta ka dito, Coach?
Oo nga.
Kasi maganda yung nilaro ni
They
Tyler
are
Hero.
1-4 right now in Miami Heat. Atlanta is 2-3.
And then, maganda yung nilaro ni Tyler Hero kanina. He scored
40 points.
40 points, a handful of rebounds, a handful of assists. But as we know Tyler Hero, he is, if it's up, it's up. I've never seen a guy like Maurice Peterson in my life. Dahil si Maurice Peterson, context, great player. I banked on him for so many years in my fantasy team. Would score 30 one day and then would score 2 points. Tyler Hero has that tendency, especially when he plays very, very good. And then he would lay eggs. So ako, yun lang. Kasi he's the focal point ngayon.
Yeah.
And they're facing a lot of injuries. Kaya ganun yung record nila the past 5 games. But Atlanta, on the other hand, tries to salvage the season for Trae Young to have higher trade value in the offseason. Yan lang yan eh. Sinashowcase na nila lahat ng young talent nila, and hopefully they get cheap wins. And ito, baka scheduling loss din kasi back-to-back games eh. Back-to-back.
But can you consider this a cheap win if this will be a victory for them?
Well, depende. Depende. Hopefully, walang ma-injured sa kanila kasi these two teams have been facing the injury bug for the longest time in this season. Marami silang mga players, key players that they lost. And of course, their player movement then with DeAndre Hunter moving on to Cleveland. Malaking bagay yan for Atlanta. Bogdanovich has been traded din. So, we'll see how Atlanta steps up. Dahil Trae Young is out for blood. He is definitely out for blood.
So Atlanta, Coach Hammer,
Oo.
Coach
Miami.
Fred, Miami Heat.
Miami, yeah.
And why the Miami Heat? Of course,
Well,
they
because
now have Andrew Wiggins with them.
Yeah, Andrew Wiggins, and because of course si Tyler Hero and Bam, nandun sila. Medyo magandang mix of new players eh. So, addition of Andrew Wiggins, we all know he's a winner also. So, he might be a mentor there for the other players to move on to the playoffs.
Alright, so it's Miami for Coach Renan Etualo and Atlanta for Coach Hammer.
Tapos 0-3 ako. Ikaw 1-2 ka naman bukas.
Hindi, magtututo ako or kaya mataas, di ba?
Alright, so that's it for our SPN expert picks. Let's just do a quick recap of what we talked about. So for our first topic, we had the Basilan Star Horse. Comments pala muna tayo. Let's take a look at our social media comments. First comment from Dante Maikes Colegio, Swift Pure Foods dati sa
Tama.
yeah.
Swift and Pure Foods. Pero parang naging Carne Norte yung Pure Foods.
Hindi.
1997. Pero Swift is...
Dorel Meneses yan. Boy Meets
94, 95.
Yeah.
Yung branding, hotdog. Hindi ko lang alam kung yung Swift corned beef ba or what ba. I-research natin. Hingin natin kay Prod Guy. Si Prod Guy bahala sa atin sa mga ganyan. Ayan, Nebra at Tanduay. Hindi, pero magkaiba yan eh. Gin at saka...
Hindi, Nebra, Gin, Tanduay pares.
Alak, San Miguel, alak din.
No.
Ano naman sa Pilipinas eh.
At saka ang Northport ata, ang Northport sa North, ang Star Horse sa South.
Sa South. May point siya.
Di ba? Ganun rin naman yun ah.
Wow! Nangaano ka eh. Tama naman siya. Tama. Connected naman. Dulo. Tama.
Alright, let's go to our next comment. Salamat, Dante. Christian Obado Valmonte says, sa pagbili ng Terra Firma, hindi sana maging farm team ng SMC yung Star Horse. Bumuo sila ng competitive na lineup. Well, wala pa naman naging balita, wala pa naman naging rumors that will happen. It seems that they are gonna be an independent team.
Yeah, syempre yan ang gusto ng mga fans. Gusto nila magkaroon ng magandang games ang PBA. Because they're always looking forward to that. Because, syempre, at the end of the day, you want to watch good basketball.
Exactly. Tsaka pag may budget, makakuha ng player yan. Basta may budget, hindi naman tayo barkadahan. Kung barkadahan, pang intervillage yun or intrams, mga ganyan. Pero pag professional, the best players will demand the most money. Ganun lang yan. Ako, inabutan ko si Alvin Patrimonio, maximum contract. June Limpot, maximum contract. Kenneth Noremdes, extra maximum contract. Ganun kalalaki yung mga kontrata nila. And these guys are Mythical 5 members, MVPs, champions on their own right. So, pag gusto mo yung mga John Marpardo, mga Christian Stardardinger, ganun talaga yung presyo niyan.
It's a business at the end of the day,
Yeah.
and that really has to be the case para sa Star Horse Basilan if they want to get the best players. I hope they don't become a farm team.
They won't. I think so. They won't.
Maraming salamat, Christian Belmonte. Our next comment Comment number 3 from Justin Ray Medaros. SVP and team coach should communicate as early as March for those players that needs to be added. Looking forward kung anong team ka group ng Gilas by August. Team Cone has the capability to add players in the pool. Pwede mo naman magpahiram ang other teams sa PBA. And also the QMB status need talaga ng big man as soon as possible. Well, syempre wala si Kai Soto and QMB would definitely be a good addition. Everybody has been saying that already but I'm not sure also.
Ba't ba ang tagal?
Yun na nga.
Yung mga passport kasi niya, ang kwento,
Hindi ba siya
wala pa
Pinoy?
to nung nasa... Hindi Pinoy yan.
Bakit? Ba't ang tagal?
Kasi yung, para
What's so
makalaro ka
weird?
sa FIBA, kailangan before ka mag-18, meron ka ng
Philippine
I
passport.
think 16.
Oh,
16.
Yung youth.
Yeah.
Kasi ni-scout na si QMB ni Josh sa youth team. Nung sila Kai pa. Sila Kai pa yung nasa youth team.
Okay.
So sila, si Josh, sino ba bang head coach, sino ba bang staff nito nun. During that time, on that cycle, sila Yuki, si KQ, nasa high school pa lang. Ryan Amsali was the best player sa akin. Ryan Amsali, oh my gosh.
Bedo ba yan?
Oh, hindi, yung mga batang yun.
Oh.
Sila yung nasa national team, nasa youth team. Tapos, ito, na-scout na nila sa New Mexico. Walang Filipino passport nung 16. So, nung pagdating dito, tsaka lang siya nagkaroon yata ng Philippine citizenship kaya siya nakalaro sa UP Asalo. Yun yung pagkakaintindi ko. Hindi ako privy kahit nag-aral ako sa UP, hindi po ako privy sa varsity affairs ng UP. Mas privy ako sa San Beda. But again, with QMB, very important that we have him. Will he be considered a local? Kailangan
Local siya.
Oh, dapat kasi yung fine print ng FIBA, yung hindi pinanganak doon, yung South Sudan, chop suey din eh. May mga na pinanganak sa England, pero it's a different perspective din. Dahil tayo nag-naturalize ng players. Hopefully, this helps with QMB na ma-declare siya as a local.
Coach Ren, you're a shooter. Ang dami nagsasabi na kulang tayo ng shooters.
Yes.
Brad, marami naman tayong shooter. Wala nga lang shooting. Tira ng tira. Volume shooter. Ako, I have been very outspoken with this night. Bago sumagot si Coach Ren, tatlo lang yung shooter na nakita ko buong buhay ko. Si Alan kay Dick, si Coach Ren, si Jeff Chan, 4 pala, tsaka si Larry. Na hindi streaky consistent na yung percentages nila. You let them shoot 4 times, they would make 2. Si Renden, pag pinatira mo ng 7, magagalit kasi kailangan 10 yung itira niya. Yun kasi, tinanong ko si Coach Renden, ba't di ka dumidepensa? Hindi ako bayad para dumidepensa. Bayad ako para shoot. So, tinatanong natin shooter, Coach Ren, bakit mo wala na-develop na shooter?
Because yun nga, like I said earlier, nakatingin tayo lagi sa USA. Hindi tayo tumitingin sa Europe, hindi tayo tumitingin sa ibang bansa na like Korea or whoever na dinedevelop nila is shooting prowess. Because tayo gusto natin, didribble muna tayo bago tayo shoot. Pwede na mag-catch and shoot na pag libre ka na, you can...
Yun na nga, Coach.
Yeah, if you're open, take the shot. Diba? Ang tendency ng players na, kuha, dribble the ball.
Kailangan maluma muna yung bola bago i-shoot eh.
So I think that mentality of ours, that dapat ma-change yun. Parang kasi, hindi natin masisisi kasi ang palabas sa TV, ang palabas sa online, it's NBA, which is very entertaining. Mapanood ba naman si Shai, si Jamoran, sino ba? Yung mga gagaling mag-breakdown ng mga... Kyrie Irving. Ang ganda panoorin eh. Puro highlights. Pero mga bata nanonood, puro highlights. Ang nakikita nila, highlights. So pero ano pang effective sa game? Paano ba? You pass the ball to the open man and then bombay na shoot. Shoot mo na yan.
Kasi, dalawa lang yung pinanonood sa Pilipinas. Yung mga skill coach na 30 minutes nagdi-dribble at saka yung mga nag-aaway. Yun yung totoo. Kaya yan naman yung mga pinakamaraming shares. Yung nagkakagulo, pre, mananalo sana kami, kaya lang, nagkagulo eh. 30 yung lamang, mananalo kayo, nagkagulo. Or, di natapos eh.
At saka ang drills ng shooting is very boring.
Basic.
It's so
shot-making.
boring. Pag ako nagtuturo, nagko-coach ako, it's going to be so boring na talagang mangangayaw ka because yun lang talagang gagawin mo to be a better shooter. It's a you should be
reps,
a special.
no? Reps talaga.
Reps. Same routine, same footwork, same release. Lahat yan pare-parehas kailangan. Dapat para kang makina. Eh di ba pag paulit-ulit mga bata, they get bored.
Yes, they get bored. Lalo na in this day and age.
Di ba? Exactly, they get bored. Gusto nila yung mga may hawak-hawak na cone. Gusto nila yung mga
may bola pa.
So it's to answer your question, because of that. it should start young. Di ba? Parang the form, the shooting, di ba? So, yeah. Yun yung lumalabas doon eh.
Actually, trickle down na nga with the way we were exposed with the Euro style of play. Ako, I would go out on the limb. Hindi dahil nandito ka. At kaibigan ko sila, Kuya Larry, and all these shooters na nabanggit ko. Kasi yun yung generation ko. But if these guys were playing right now, we would be paying them more.
Yeah.
Because the volume of 3-point shots and 4-point shots, this man, patirayo ng 4 points. Oh my goodness. Kasi, shooters are number one, maganda high coordination, and number two, maganda yung balance. And a lot of players right now, their balance is with the ball. Di ba? Laging kailangan magke-create sila ng space with the ball. Pag pinanood nyo, si Larry, si Ren, si Jeff Chan, and for bits and pieces ng mga Alan kay Dick na mga grainy videos na makikita nyo, they move all without the ball and they're moving away from the ball.
Exactly.
Because they have attackers. They have attackers that would set them up and alam nila na be balance, tumira na ako ng 1,000, ano ba naman yung isa pang i-shoot ko?
Exactly. That's kasi kahit ako, if I'm there inside the floor, kahit wala akong bola, I'm a threat. Kasi, pag drive ka Jason Castro sa side ko, that's all the way. Kasi pag gumelt ka, pag pinasa sa akin,
Libre ka na.
exactly.
Let it fly. Let it fly. Yun yung mechanics.
Well, we hope that that formula will soon be developed, especially in our national team, which we badly need. I remember during the time that Jeff Chan and Larry Fonacier were both
Yun
on
yung
the
tinalo
Philippines
natin
team.
yung Korea.
Tama.
Yun yung tinalo natin yung Korea.
So we hope we get those kinds of players again, especially for the upcoming.
Kasi parehas na sila nagko-coach ngayon. So
Ayun na.
definitely, ito, si Coach Ren tinuturo dun sa mga players na hopefully, the right mix of player will meet the right coach. Kasi yun yung importante. That itong apat na binanggit ko, magkaroon ng makahanap ng mga players sa ultra green light that would put in the work shooting. Dahil hindi ka pwedeng tira ka lang ng tira, pero hindi ka nag-extra work. Dahil yung kumpiyansa mo nanggagaling dun sa puhunan mo.
Confidence comes from preparation.
Yan.
May mga iba kumpiyansa lang talaga. May teammate ako, hindi nag-shooting. Hindi talaga nag-shooting. Pagdating ng laro, may score ng 30, pero ang baba ng field goal shooting. Hindi ko na lang papangalanan si Carlo Lastimosa. Carlo, I love you. Brad, yun ang gifted talaga. Hindi nag-shooting. May score ng 35. Sabi ko, walang iya. Shooting ako na shooting. Yung totokan, itadaan ko na lang kasi baka mag-mintis mo. I kid you not. Tapos, umiscore ng 30. The following game, 37. Sabi ko, di na nga rin ako mag-shooting. Total, yun lang din yung gagawin ko. Mag-jump hook na lang ako. Papasa ko na lang kay Carlo, mananalo ko kami.
Yan pala yung naging problema dahil sa mga players sa tulad ni Carlo Lastimosa.
Magaling yun. Love ko yan. Talaga one of my more talented teammates ever.
Maraming salamat, Justin Raymond Daros. Let's go to our last comment.
Catching strays no? Mahirap pag yung mga kausap mo, yung mga dating player.
Pinagay! Champion Online Shop says, ayan na, ibalik si Coach Chot Reyes at least kahit natatalo na ang Jaguars. Ang hirap i-please na mga Pinoy, lahat naging expert ng basketball.
Kumpormahan lang. May all-star na dyan si Coach Chot, si Manong Derek. yan ang dalawa mo. Tsaka, sino pa bang laging isputing ng mga coaches natin? Kasi si Coach Tim, simple lang.
Oh,
Simple lang.
Baka sa college, meron pa mga isputing na coaches. Pero yung
Hindi
dalawa.
kasi naka-uniform lang ang coaches ngayon eh.
Oo.
Di ba? Hindi naman katulad.
Nung time mo si Coach Shot, lagi naka-polo, naka-blue na pants. Yung uso pa yung mga pants na may kulay nun. Ngayon, naka-joggers na lang nga sila Coach Sandy.
Oh, di ba?
Pagka nasa gilid sila Yuri. Pero importante na nanalo.
Oh yeah, it's all about winning.
Oo, di mga tambay nga sa amin, nakahubad pa, nagko-coach. Pero sila yung champion coach. Magaling pa rin sila kila Coach Jong, kila Coach Shot.
Alam mo kung ba't napansin yung forma ni Coach Shot doon? Kasi natalo eh.
Oo,
Kailangan natin ng
Kung
scapegoat.
nanalo tayo, oo.
Hindi naman mapapansin, di ba, pare? Hindi naman pati yun sisitahin eh. Kasi pag natatalo, lahat nakikita.
Lahat, forma, kung ano sinusuot mo.
Para si Manong sinabi kay Bunel Balingit, kinukwento ni Bunel Balingit, Bunel, ba't ka naka-risman? Makakashoot ka ba niyan? Manong Derek, ikaw nagkwento sa akin yan. No, ito nila sa akin. Naalala ko pag yung mga, puporma ka pa. Eh, di ba ganun si Manong Derek magkwento? Ano lang yan?
Well, let's just have more trust in Coach Tim Cone. He will do better sa upcoming FIBA Asia Cup. I'm sure Coach Chot Reyes is happy where he is right now and happily supporting the national team as well from afar.
Okay, thanks. Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Alright, maraming salamat sa lahat na nag-comment. Let's just have a quick recap of what we discussed for tonight. Terra Firma has already sold their franchise to Star Horse Basilan. Waiting na lang yung PBA vote sa ating board. Gilas Window, we talked about the previous 2 losses that we had and we're looking forward to the FIBA Asia Cup. And Wemby out for the season already because of DVT. Sa ating SPN expert picks, 2-1 si Coach Hammer at si Coach Renren. So abangan natin kung sino man nanalo dyan. Again, thank you so much to everybody who joined us
Pwede ba
today.
tayo mag-free shoutouts? Sa amin nanonood din
Ayan,
mga
sige.
kaibigan ko.
Go.
Kiniloloko nila ako, ba't ko lang.
Pwede eh. Banuwersa mo na eh.
Talagang
Wala na tayong magagawa.
Hindi, Brad, kasi minessage ako, ba't karoon nangyayari si Coach Renen? Alam nyo, kahit ako turuan ni Coach Renen, hindi ako makakashoot. Aminado na ako dyan. Kasi parati ako, special shoutout to my other family, the Trudians, John, Kat, Chewy, and Bells. Had a great workout today. Thank you for watching. I know that you don't believe that I speak Tagalog pero nagtatagalog. Akala nyo lang yan. But again, all our SPNation kids. And support the NCAA Juniors. 2-1 kami ngayon. Hindi ko lang alam kung kailan kami magti-3-0 in one day. Coach Renden, congrats on the first win. Coach Willie, congrats on your first win as well.
Coach Ren, ikaw, baka may shoutouts ka rin.
Wala. Hi sa lahat ng nanood kanina sa NCAA. Thank you for supporting the LSG.
Inaantay kayo ulit ng technical. Kasi ako yung nag-cover nung unang na technical siya. Naalala ko.
Okay, once again, thank you to everybody who joined us for SPNation tonight. My name is Javi Palanya. This has been SPNation Season 3.
There's a bunch of different things that just like put it all together. Everything has like a different meaning.